Welcome to a new little project on my channel. I wanted to make a few Tokyo Xtreme Racer videos for quite a while, and I'm so happy that I'm finally able to do so after sorting out my PC issues. Initially I wanted to make a full let's play of it, but well, I wasn't really able to record for a few days, and during that time I decided to just go ahead and play through the whole thing on my own. Screw you guys. Nah, but I'm seriously happy that I did that. Not only was it a lot of fun, but also it made me realize that with how the game is paced, a full playthrough wouldn't be the most exciting thing. But I wanted to talk about this nonetheless, especially as me being a fan of Tokyo Xtreme Racer Zero on the PS2 back in the day, which was my introduction to the series and honestly the only game of the series that I ever got to play. It wasn't readily available over here, so yeah, I wanted to make a few videos about this, so we are going to do that. And it's going to be, with the first one today, I want to introduce the concept of the game to you guys and show you what it's all about. And from that point on, I want to really talk about the current state of the early access version and compare it to what Zero was back in the day. I actually played Zero again for I think like 1 or 2 years back or something. So this is still somewhat fresh in my mind, and me booting up a PS2 game in the 2020s, I think that should tell you something about how much I love that series. Anyways, we are going to start a new game. I already beat the final opponent, so I'm kinda done with the current state of the game right now. Haven't finished up everything, but I don't even really mind losing it, so we are just going to go for this. And yeah, the game overall, it's not a traditional racing game. Depending on your definition of a racing game, this might not even qualify as one at all. It's more of a car battle game, in a sense. But racing, driving is involved. There isn't anything like a finish line or something, however. It's going to work out a bit differently. We're going to see in a moment. But first up, we need to choose our battle car. Yeah, our first car. This is a bit like Gran Turismo or Forza in a sense. We get our own garage, we get to tune the cars, and we get to pick one to begin with out of the three over here. But yeah, from there it's going to deviate quite a bit in terms of how the actual gameplay goes. I'm going to go with the Sprinter over here, the AE86. So let's go and change colors or that kind of thing. There are a few available. There is a whole custom color making scheme, but we cannot choose a custom color from the get-go, so I think I'm just gonna go with red and black because I quite like that one. We can also set up our own license plate over here. And I think I want to go for something very specific. This may or may not become very important later down the line, but I choose this area to begin with. So these are all the different areas in Japan, I think. Not just Tokyo. Who knows. And yeah, since I've done this already, I'm going to take the symbol that looks a bit like a fish. Doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but yeah, let's go for the 86 over here. So the number up on top I don't really care much about. I just think 7s are looking nice. This thing looks like a fish, so that's why I like it. 1 because AE86. The 1 stands for the A, this stands for the E, and 86 self-explanatory. If I can, I like to give the license plate some meaning. But yeah, this is all that we can do right now. We can also change the license plate later if we want to or need to for some reason. But let's get our car costing 2.18 million credits compared to the 3 million that we have, so this is definitely within budget. The other cars they might be better choices, but I like the A86. It's, for the type of game, kind of an appropriate choice compared to the more modern cars. Anyways, let's get into the garage and yeah, take a good look at this one. So yeah, the game is giving me some tutorials here, which I'm not going to read out because that would just be... it would take a long while and not really do much else. But yeah, we are in the garage right now. Usually we could do some tuning, but for the first time the only thing we can really do is choose different tires. I just like to go with hard ones because I like to go on long runs, but yeah, for the first battle it doesn't really matter anyways. Now on to the driving. We have to enter the course, and the course is the Tokyo Expressways, modeled after the real thing. So if you open Google Maps or anything like that, you will find this exact road layout as well. And the way this works is that we basically need to come onto the road, onto the expressway through an on-ramp. Right now this area is available as the only one, and we can choose to either go onto this one, getting us onto the inner loop, so going around counterclockwise, or to the outer one, going clockwise. And with the current tutorial that we have, we need to go onto the inner loop. So let's get on and let's get going. And this is where we finally can see how the entire gameplay loop works out, because for the most part it's going to be this. And yeah, the game has a bit of a story and it tries to really turn this into like a big thing. Like going high concept with the idea of illegal street racing, which is kind of interesting. It's all very much Japanese, and to be clear, the translation in some ways is maybe a bit dodgy. I can maybe talk about that a bit more later down the line, but yeah. It's all very grand as it's being presented, and there's also some dialogue in the game, and it's maybe not all the best that it could be. It's a bit cheesy, which also has its own flair and everything. It's not bad or anything, but just very special in a way. Okay, anyways, you get a bit more of a tutorial, but this is where really the important thing comes in. So we just drive around the expressway as we should, and we can encounter other people on there, or in this case, this is a guy from a rival team, and we can challenge him to a battle. And when I say battle, I mean something like Street Fighter. We get the full-on health bar set up on the top, and now our objective is beating the guy. As long as we are within less than 25 meters of each other and don't ram each other or run into other cars or the walls or anything, nothing is really going to happen. But as soon as he gets further behind, you can see that I'm now starting to drain his health bar on the top. And the goal is to bring that down to 0, and that's how I win my battles. This is of course the central mechanic of the game. We are not doing any lap-based racing or anything like that. And the battle can go on for 5 minutes or something if it comes to that, but it can also be over in less than 1, as is going to be the case with this one right here. So yeah, it's definitely a game that involves a lot of driving, you drive fast, but is it necessarily a racing game? I think that's up for you to decide. It's definitely not a Forza, Gran Turismo, or like most other games on the market. So, yeah. So we've beaten our one challenger, and since this is a tutorial, we are now supposed to go back to the garage. So let's do just that. From now on it's going to be a bit more free and allow us to stay out longer, have multiple opponents on the same road, and also traffic in addition to that. But yeah, we now go over to a parking area and we experience some of the dialogue in the game. Active looking woman, yeah. So yeah, as I said, I won't be reading through everything here. You can pause the video if you want. Basically, this is just somebody introducing themselves to us, and they have watched us racing, noticed that we have something going on and want to talk to us. And her name is Cinderella Past Midnight. And yeah, we have a certain sparkle that other people lack for some reason. And yeah, this is just giving us a bit of introduction that we are going to do hundreds of battles and asking the question, why do we race to begin with? Trying to make this a bit philosophical. Woman is Street Racer, Cinderella Past Midnight, and yeah. Climb back into a machine, a vibrant yellow car. And here we go back to the result screen for the night. So we got a nickname, our so-called bad name. I don't remember what the abbreviation is for. It's basically dependent on how we battle, like how we drive. If we drive dirty, try to ram the other guy, stuff like that. But to start out with, we get a newcomer name. The first part is dependent on which area we choose on the license plate, which I found out recently. So this is my current bad name, and it's going to adapt over time, which is quite neat. We also got a bit of money and a battle point, which is a bonus that we get for defeating any opponent for the first time. So these are limited. And they are going to be used to unlock a few things. We are going to see all that later. But yeah, let's aim for the top of this world. And let's go and do a few basic things here. We now have tuning available. We can also add a few aero parts, which I'm not going to do right now because that's a waste of money from what I can tell. As far as I'm aware, these things are basically completely optical only, so they're just cosmetics. But yeah, we can change things like the bonnet with a few options. I'm just going to show you guys all of that right now, but I won't be applying anything yet. This is really for later once we get a bit of spare money. But yeah, we have a few front bumpers, we have side skirts, and it's all like 2 or 3 different sets depending on the car from what I can tell. Rear bumper as well. The old game used to have some white body kits available for each car, at least some extended fender flares, which doesn't seem to be available for this one right now. I hope it comes later down the line because it really made for some sick looking builds. And yeah, of course we also have spoilers. There's also a neon tuning system. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys some of the basic stuff. Going in depth with this, there is also a way to change the brake rotor and caliper later down the line, but that's only once you get some upgrades for it. But I would really like to go into the livery editor right now, just changing the body color to something different. Don't want to make this too long, but I really like the custom color scheme option here. So I'm going to I want to make it yellow. Make it stand out a little bit. Maybe get some blue in there to make it more of like not full on bright yellow, but a bit more muted. We can also apply a metallic effect, or even mix it with a matte effect. I think for this one I'm going to go with a bit of metallic, just to make the color look a bit deeper. And I can also change the color for the bottom part. I think I'm just gonna go with other colors right away and make this perfectly black if I can. Also, yeah, when on controller, right now there isn't really an option to just go between the things as if they were regular menu buttons. You have to use this cursor and it's kind of annoying. But yeah, this thing, let's just make the bottom matte. I think that looks pretty nice. There's also a livery editor with vinyls and all of that. I won't be getting into that too much apart from just showing you guys real quick. So I can add a few things. I can go to the left side and maybe put on some flames or something. So stuff like this, different shapes and all of that. There are like 40 layers available for the for all over the body, so we can actually do something quite in depth with it if we want to. Can also move the stuff around, scale it up, rotate, mirror to the other side, flip it over right here. But yeah, for right now I don't really care about that. If I do anything with this system, it will definitely not be while recording, because I can just spend an hour or two trying to make the car look nice, and I don't think that's something that really needs to be on video. But yeah, this is what we have here for right now. I just wanted to show you guys the option of what the game can do in terms of customization. Let's now talk about the more important stuff for now, which is upgrading. So since I know how the game plays out, I'm going to get the most important ones for now. And I should have enough money for that. So I'm only going to get level 1 systems, because everything else isn't available yet. Actually, on my first attempt at the playthrough, I didn't even know how to unlock the later level stuff. It's kind of different right now from what it was in back in Zero. But yeah, what we have here should be pretty good. So basically, on my first attempt at the playthrough, I've been running very much undertuned vehicles for a long time, and it got a bit crazy. But yeah, going beyond what we have right now isn't really possible anyways, at least not for a while. But we'll cross that bridge once we get there. Okay, how much further can I go? Does it go a bit quicker from here? Alright. Yeah, I don't really need much top speed right now. I'm more about acceleration, so I changed the final drive ratio to help me out a little bit. I don't have much power, so I need to make the most of it. Okay. So yeah, overall I think we are good to go. Let's do another battle and see how the map looks once we are out of a tutorial. So yeah, there are now quite a few more people going around here. including the one that we just beat in the tutorial, so we can even find previous opponents again. So let's get back onto the course from the same entry point as last time. After all, we only have that one. I could have gone the other direction, which, to be clear, right now is a completely separate road. We cannot go into oncoming traffic unless we turn around and go the other way on the road that we are on right now. But yeah, that other side on the road, where the taxi is driving along, that's what we would find if we were to choose the other direction. So it's not just the same road in reverse, there are some differences here and there. So I'm currently just trying to catch up with another opponent. I could theoretically even challenge the other cars on the road to a battle. Not much sense in doing so right now, although it can give me a bit of money. And honestly, it's quite hilarious that anybody that I encounter here, even just some guy in a weird little minivan, would be up to a race. But yeah, here comes our next opponent, which is driving, I think, the same car as I am. Or at least a similar one. Yeah, no, this is the Corolla 11. So it's a different variation of the same thing that I have, just with different headlights and also different brake lights. But overall, under the hood it should be the same as mine. Maybe with a few different tunings, but who knows. So yeah, I'll just be trying and getting in front of the guy if I can. And this is a reason why I already equipped all of the upgrades. Well, I want to get a bit of an advantage, otherwise this can be quite the lengthy race. After all, if I don't get away from the guy, or if the guy doesn't get away from me, we might just be running across the motorway here side by side for laps on end. But yeah, I finally got ahead of him far enough, so yeah. We should be winning this in a moment. And while driving along the expressway, we will also encounter a few other things. As we see down there at the bottom, I just unlocked another ramp, meaning this is another potential starting point. This is also dependent on the direction that I'm going. If I want to unlock the same stuff for the other direction, I need to get there on the other direction. As you can see on the map in the bottom left, we can also see the opponents from the other side. And yeah, right now the only one further up ahead is actually the guy that I've beaten beforehand. So we may get a bit more money from him, but we cannot really get anything beyond that. So at this point, yeah, just giving me another notification that I got this unlocked. At this point, let's return to the garage and go for another battle. I usually like chaining multiple encounters one after the other, but if it is like right now with the next one being a guy that I've already beaten, it's not really worth it all the time. So let's just go back in and let's try the other direction for a change. As you see, we could also now enter the expressway at this point, but then the next guy ahead would be the one that we just beaten again, so I like to go for a different way instead. Trying to beat people that I haven't encountered yet over the ones that I already have defeated. After all, this is how we progress. Right now, it's just encounter a few people, try to beat them, and then go from there. And yeah, what can I say? To give you guys my overall review of the game right now without getting into any of the finer details. Tokyo Xtreme Racer is definitely back, and I'm here for it. It's certainly not a fully finished game yet, and it's still lacking a bit of content, but overall what is there is pretty solid, and I'm really having a good time with it. After all, it's great. Not perfect, but they have definitely, they put in the time, they put in the effort, and they are giving us a pretty good game at this point already. There will be a lot of criticism in the upcoming videos because there are some finer details that I would really like to talk about and get into the nitty-gritty about, but those are going to be mostly nitpicks. So yeah, overall a few things could be better, but it's still, especially at this stage in the early access, we have gotten a fully functional and fun game, and it's just, I mean, yeah. It's still surreal to suddenly have this back in 2025 and being able to play it. Actually, a few weeks before the game came out, or before the first announcement of this game was made, I was thinking back to the series and I thought, well, I wish it would come back. I never could have foreseen it happen. I felt like by that point the series was completely dead and gone. After all, it's been like over a decade from what I remember, and the last game in the series may have been a weird little mobile port. Not even a port, just a mobile game. Okay, the next car is quite far up ahead, so I think I'm just going to go back into the garage and drive from there. With how slow my current car is, it's not really amazing trying to catch up to somebody else. After all, they are not standing still, they are all moving along the expressway. So let's do one last battle if the game allows me to find another guy. Yeah, let's go back in this location and drive a bit further ahead. But yeah, for the sake of the video, I'm trying to not just cruise along the expressway for too long without anything else happening. Again, I could go ahead and try challenge a few other cars, but we have Mazda RX-8s in front of me, that kind of thing. Yeah, this isn't going to be a win for me, so thank you, but no thank you. I could maybe challenge the MX-5, I think that might be alright. Little Miata. I mean, the newer generation of this was one of the potential starter cars, so we should be alright. Yeah, we're already catching up. So let's try and just beat this guy while we catch up with the next opponent. Again, this is just a fun little addition to the game. I don't think it does anything apart from filling up a few empty spaces here and giving us another way to make a bit of money. I'm just gonna weave through the traffic while at it. I think this might actually work out pretty well with me arriving at the next guy. Should be right behind the corner here. I think that was him. Alright, here we go. I'm just going to wait in the middle of the expressway. It's fine. And that seems to be a WRX. I don't think I should realistically have a chance against it, but hey, I got some tuning. We got a few more horsepowers under the hood, so we are apparently able to catch up. Even though with that guy in front of me, maybe I should have fallen behind from the get-go, but yeah, there wasn't much option for me. There wasn't really a way for me to go anywhere. But yeah, I don't know what that guy did to his car, but he is slow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I should be just pulling away from him, but here we are. I'm not going to complain too much because after all I would like to win the battle. But this might not be an encounter where it would be realistic for me to do this. But yeah, here we go. We've beaten Great Finance and this is another win under our belt. So yeah, pretty happy about that. And I think with that we are going to end the first video right here. I think we should have given you guys a pretty good idea what the game is all about. There are going to be a few more variations. Right now I'm basically battling team members, there are team leaders, there are bosses, unaffiliated people just driving around, having special conditions to be met in order to be raced against. And there's a lot more things to come, like parking areas being accessible, that happens later down the line. So there's really a lot of things going on here. But we'll get to those in a later video. For now, I gotta say thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. And in the next one we are going to really start talking about comparisons between this and Zero. Looking forward to that. Until then, have a good one and bye bye.